Most people think spinach is the ultimate magnesium food. But what if I told you there's a small, everyday nut that quietly packs more magnesium than spinach and could be a hidden key to keeping your bones strong and flexible after 50 pounds? It sounds unbelievable, but relying on spinach alone can actually backfire for older adults. That's because as we age, our digestion slows, and certain compounds in spinach can block magnesium absorption. According to Harvard Health and the Cleveland Clinic, magnesium is one of the most overlooked nutrients for bone strength, even more important than many realize. In this video, you'll discover which nut beats spinach, how it helps your body use calcium effectively, and the smartest way to include it daily. Stay until the end, because one surprises almost everyone over 60. Comment yes if you want more videos like this. Most people associate weak bones with low calcium, but here's the hidden truth. Your bones could be losing strength, not because you're lacking calcium, but because your body doesn't have enough magnesium to help that calcium do its chi. Magnesium is the quiet mineral that makes everything work together. It's like the project manager behind the scenes, helping convert vitamin D into its active form, guiding calcium into the bones where it belongs, and keeping your muscles and nerves balanced. Without enough of it, much of that calcium ends up drifting through your bloodstream, and sometimes settling in places it shouldn't, like your arteries or joints. Now, here's why this is such a problem for older adults. After age 50, the body's ability to absorb magnesium from food drops dramatically, sometimes by as much as 30%. Digestion slows, stomach acid weakens, and certain common medications, such as acid blockers or water pills, can cause even more magnesium to be lost through the kidneys. So even when you're eating healthy, your cells might still be quietly running on empty. According to the National Institutes of Health, adults over 60 are among the most magnesium-deficient groups in the world. Yet most people have no idea. The warning signs appear slowly: a little morning stiffness, more muscle cramps at night, low energy, or restless sleep. Many seniors write these off as normal parts of aging, but often they're not. They're the body's subtle way of whispering that something essential is missing. Let's make it real with a story. Diane, a 67-year-old retired teacher, thought she was doing everything right. She had her daily salad, yogurt, and plenty of spinach. But despite her efforts, her nails had become brittle, and those annoying leg cramps woke her up almost every night. When a nutritionist reviewed her diet, the answer became clear. She was barely getting half the magnesium her body needed, and most of it was trapped in foods her system couldn't fully absorb anymore. Within just a few weeks of adding magnesium-rich foods, including one small nut we'll reveal later, Diane's cramps began to ease. Her energy improved, and she even noticed her sleep felt deeper and calmer. The truth is, strong bones aren't built by calcium alone. They're built by teamwork: calcium, vitamin D, and magnesium all working together. You don't always need more calcium. You need to help your body use what it already has more effectively. And that's where this humble, magnesium-packed nut becomes so important. Now that you understand how this hidden deficiency quietly weakens bones with age, let's move into one of the biggest misconceptions in nutrition, a food millions of older adults believe is helping their bones, when in reality, it may be doing the opposite. For decades, spinach has been crowned the superfood of strong bones. It's packed with green color, loaded with nutrients, and famously rich in magnesium and iron. But here's the surprising truth for many older adults. Spinach may not be giving the magnesium boost they think it is. In fact, it can sometimes do the opposite. Here's why. Spinach is high in something called oxalates, natural compounds that bind to minerals like calcium and magnesium. Think of oxalates as tiny locks that trap these nutrients inside your digestive system, keeping them from being absorbed into your bloodstream. So even though spinach looks like a magnesium powerhouse on paper, your body may only get a small fraction of what's actually listed on the label. This becomes even more important with age. As digestion slows and stomach acid weakens, it's like having fewer keys to unlock those nutrient locks. So while younger bodies might break down spinach efficiently, older adults often can't extract the same benefit. The result, you might be eating bowls of spinach every week, yet still running low on magnesium without realizing it. According to the Cleveland Clinic, spinach ranks high in magnesium content, but not necessarily in magnesium availability. That's a crucial difference. A food can be full of nutrients and still leave your cells hungry if your body can't access them. Now imagine this. You've been told for years that a spinach smoothie or a spinach salad is the healthiest thing you can do for your bones. You keep that routine faithfully, only to discover later that your magnesium levels are still low, your muscles feel tight, and your energy keeps dipping. That's not your fault. It's simply how the body changes with time. Let's take an example many can relate to. Harold, a 72-year-old former carpenter, prided himself on eating clean. His breakfast, a green smoothie with spinach, banana, and a scoop of protein. But when he began feeling constant muscle twitches and fatigue, his doctor found he was still low in magnesium. After swapping some of his spinach for a handful of magnesium-rich nuts, his symptoms eased, and his strength gradually returned. The takeaway here isn't to throw away your spinach. It's still a great vegetable full of fiber, folate, and antioxidants. The secret is to pair it smartly. When you add foods that actually will release magnesium easily, like certain nuts and seeds, your body finally gets the minerals it's been missing. And in the next section, we'll count down the top 5 nuts that beat spinach in magnesium power, including the one that stands out as nature's quiet bone protector. Stay tuned, because one will surprise almost everyone over 60 should. Now that we've uncovered the truth about spinach, let's explore the real magnesium heroes. The nuts that quietly outperform leafy greens when it comes to supporting strong bones, steady energy, and healthy aging. We'll start from number 5 and count down to number 1. The nut that beats spinach by a mile. 5 peanuts, the everyday booster. Let's start with something familiar. The humble peanut, technically a legume, but often grouped with nuts, delivers around 50 milligrams of magnesium per ounce, roughly the same as a large handful. It's inexpensive, easy to find, and surprisingly effective for daily magnesium support. But here's what makes peanuts especially helpful for older adults. They also contain resveratrol, the same heart-friendly compound found in red wine. That means they support both circulation and bone oxygenation, 2 factors that naturally decline after age 50. Just be mindful of the salt and oil. Many commercial peanuts are roasted in refined oils or heavily salted, which can offset their benefits. Opt for dry roasted or unsalted versions. Take Grace, a 74-year-old grandmother from Ohio. She swapped her nightly cookie for a small handful of dry roasted peanuts and noticed she slept more soundly and felt less afternoon fatigue. Sometimes the simplest changes make the biggest difference. 4 walnuts, the brain-bone connection. At number 4, we have the rich, earthy walnut delivering around 45 milligrams of magnesium per ounce, but with a special bonus, omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats help reduce inflammation, which indirectly supports bone health by protecting bone-forming cells from oxidative stress. For seniors, that's huge. Chronic inflammation can silently speed up bone thinning, but walnuts work like nature's cushion, calming the body's stress response. According to a study from Harvard University, older adults who ate a handful of walnuts several times a week had not only better memory scores, but also stronger bone mineral density compared to those who didn't. Walnuts can be a little bitter for some, but a clever trick is to mix them into oatmeal or yogurt with a touch of honey. It softens the flavor and boosts magnesium absorption when eaten with a bit of healthy fat. 3 cashews, the gentle energizer. Coming in at number 3 is the creamy cashew, a nut that's as kind to your taste buds as it is to your bones. 1 ounce provides about 75 milligrams of magnesium, which already surpasses spinach's typical magnesium content per serving. But cashews have another gift. They contain copper and zinc, both essential for collagen formation, the protein matrix that holds your bones together like a sturdy framework. Many adults over 60 experience slower collagen renewal, leading to weaker joints and brittle nails. Cashews help fill that gap naturally. Take Robert, a 61-year-old landscaper who struggled with stiff hands after long workdays. He began adding a small handful of cashews to his lunch, and within weeks, he noticed smoother movement and better energy through the afternoon. His doctor later noted mild improvement in his magnesium levels without any supplements. Just remember, cashews are calorie-dense. A small handful a day, about 1 ounce, is plenty. 2 almonds. The everyday shield. Number 2 might surprise you, the mighty almond. Each ounce packs about 80 milligrams of magnesium, plus a solid dose of calcium, vitamin E, and healthy fats. It's a perfect bone and heart combination. Almonds are particularly beneficial for women after menopause. When magnesium and calcium retention both decline, they help balance bone turnover, keeping new bone formation steady even as hormone levels shift. The Mayo Clinic notes that magnesium-rich foods like almonds may also help regulate muscle function and nerve communication, reducing cramps and tremors that often appear later in life. One of our viewers, Mary, a 68-year-old retired nurse, began eating 10 almonds every morning with her tea. Within a month, she said her legs felt lighter during walks and her hands less tense. Sometimes, daily consistency is the quiet magic that changes everything. To make almonds easier to digest, soak them overnight and peel them in the morning. This simple step helps neutralize phytic acid, a compound that can limit mineral absorption. Won the winner. Brazil. Nuts. The magnesium titan. And now, the nut that leaves spinach in the dust when it comes to magnesium power. The Brazil nut. Just 2 Brazil nuts can deliver nearly 110 milligrams of magnesium, almost double what you'd get from a full cup of cooked spinach. But there's more. Brazil nuts are also one of the richest natural sources of selenium, a trace mineral that supports thyroid health and helps regulate bone metabolism. For older adults, that's a game changer because the thyroid controls the hormones that tell bones when to build and when to rest. According to research from the NIH, selenium and magnesium together create a synergistic effect, promoting stronger bone structure and better muscle recovery. And here's a touching example. Martha, a 70-year-old pianist, struggled with joint stiffness that made her morning practice painful. Her dietitian suggested 1 or 2 Brazil nuts daily, combined with vitamin D foods. Within 2 months, her flexibility improved. Her hands felt steadier, and she called it her 2-nut miracle. But with Brazil nuts, less is more. Because they're extremely rich in selenium, you only need 1 or 2 per day, not a handful. That small amount can go a long way in keeping bones nourished and energy steady. So there you have it. The top 5 nuts that quietly outperform spinach in magnesium and bone support, from peanuts to Brazil nuts. Each one offers its own unique advantage, but together they form a powerful lineup for aging well. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at the number 1 nut, Brazil nuts, and reveal how to use them safely and effectively for stronger bones and steadier vitality. The winner, 1 nut for strong bones. The spotlight now shines on the quiet champion we just mentioned, the Brazil nut. This modest, crescent-shaped nut doesn't often get the attention it deserves, yet it holds one of the richest natural combinations of magnesium, selenium, and healthy fats found in any whole food. And for older adults, that combination is pure gold for maintaining bone health and vitality. Let's start with magnesium. Each Brazil nut contains around 50 milligrams of magnesium, which means just 2 nuts can give you nearly a quarter of your daily need. Magnesium is what helps bones stay flexible instead of brittle. It's the mineral that allows bone tissue to rebuild properly after small wear and tear damage. Without enough magnesium, bones can become hard but fragile, much like dry wood that cracks easily. Then there's selenium, the mineral that gives Brazil nuts their true superpower. Selenium helps your thyroid produce hormones that control bone remodeling, the natural process of breaking down old bone and replacing it with new, strong tissue. For adults over 60, this cycle slows down dramatically. That's why fractures take longer to heal, and bone density tests often show gradual thinning. Selenium helps restart that process not by force, but by supporting the body's natural rhythm. According to research from the National Institutes of Health, people with higher selenium intake tend to have better bone density and stronger antioxidant protection, both of which are essential for healthy aging. And when selenium and magnesium work together, as they do naturally in Brazil nuts, their effects multiply. Magnesium supports calcium balance, while selenium reduces inflammation around bone cells. It's nature's quiet teamwork at its best. Now let's make this real with a story. Eleanor, a 69-year-old artist from Oregon, had been feeling unsteady on her feet. Her doctor told her she had mild bone loss, the kind many women develop after menopause. Instead of rushing to supplements, she decided to fine-tune her diet. Every morning, she enjoyed a single Brazil nut with her oatmeal and a cup of green tea. 3 months later, she told her daughter, "I don't feel fragile anymore." Her posture improved, her balance got steadier, and she said she finally felt grounded. Again, not just physically, but emotionally. Of course, moderation matters. Brazil nuts are extremely rich in selenium. Too much can be overwhelming. For the body, experts from the Cleveland Clinic recommend just 1 or 2 nuts per day, not a handful. That's enough to nourish your bones and thyroid without overdoing it. So if there's one simple, delicious step you can take for stronger bones, steadier energy, and a more resilient body after 50, it might just start with 2 small Brazil nuts a day. A daily ritual of strength from nature itself. Now, in the next section, we'll talk about how to use this nut safely and smartly, because a little knowledge can make all the difference between benefit and excess. Now that you know how powerful Brazil nuts can be, let's talk about how to enjoy them safely. Because when it comes to this particular nut, a little truly goes a long way. Here's the golden rule. 1 or 2 Brazil nuts a day is enough. Each nut provides an impressive dose of magnesium and selenium minerals your body needs in small but steady amounts. More isn't better here. In fact, eating too many Brazil nuts regularly could give you more selenium than your body can process comfortably. The Cleveland Clinic suggests staying under about 200 micrograms of selenium per day, and 2 medium Brazil nuts fit perfectly within that range. Now, let's talk about how to eat them. Raw or lightly roasted Brazil nuts are best, since high heat can damage some of their natural fats. Store them in the refrigerator or freezer to keep them fresh. Their oils can turn rancid if left at room temperature too long. For older adults who find hard nuts difficult to chew, try soaking them overnight in a bit of water. This softens the texture and helps neutralize some of the natural compounds that make nuts harder to digest. Then, enjoy them the next morning with oatmeal, yogurt, or a piece of fruit. You can also pair Brazil nuts with calcium-rich foods like milk, yogurt, or fortified plant-based drinks. Magnesium helps your body use that calcium efficiently, while selenium supports the enzymes that keep bones rebuilding over time. And here's a small but powerful tip. Make your Brazil nuts part of a mindful habit. Have 1 during your morning tea, or add 2 to your evening snack. When you connect the habit to a routine you already love, it's easier to stay consistent, and consistency is what brings the biggest results. In just a few weeks, you may not notice a dramatic change, but slowly, your body begins to thank you through steadier energy, calmer muscles, and the quiet confidence that your bones are being nourished from the inside out. Think about this for a moment. Something as small and simple as a nut, a food most of us have walked past hundreds of times, can quietly hold the strength your body's been asking for. For many adults over 50, the missing link in bone health isn't a fancy supplement or a strict diet plan. It's the steady supply of magnesium, selenium, and healthy fats that keep bones flexible, nerves calm, and energy steady. When you give your body these nutrients through real foods like the Brazil nut, almonds, and cashews, we've talked about, you're not just feeding your bones. You're supporting your heart, your mind, your muscles, and even your sleep. And the best part, it's never too late to start. Bones don't stop responding just because we age. They respond to care, to nourishment, and to small daily habits done with intention. Even after decades, your body is still capable of rebuilding, rebalancing, and renewing. Remember Diane, Harold, and Eleanor. They didn't make big, dramatic changes. They just began adding 1 or 2 magnesium-rich nuts a day, stayed consistent, and let time do the rest. That's the quiet power of nature working slowly, gently, and effectively when we give it the chance. So here's your invitation. Start with one small step. Add a Brazil nut to your morning tea, or a handful of almonds to your afternoon snack. Listen to your body. Notice how it responds over time, because strong bones aren't built overnight, they're built one small, wise choice at a time. If this video helped you understand your body just a little better, give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who might need encouragement today. And don't forget to subscribe for more senior wellness insights. And as always, if you have any health concerns or medical conditions, consult your healthcare provider before making changes to your diet. Here's the bottom line. You're never too old to feel strong, steady, and alive again. Sometimes, all it takes is 2 small nuts and a big belief in your body's ability to keep growing.